Hey there, golf fanatics. Welcome to Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town.
That's right.
We're back for episode 7 and ready to tee off on all the latest and greatest and maybe a little bit controversial.
Maybe a lot controversial.
Well, hey, that's what keeps things interesting, right?
Absolutely. Keeps everyone on their toes.
From the virtual fairways of the TGL to some wild finishes on the PGA Tour, LIV Golf, and a look ahead at the Masters.
We've got a packed bag of golf goodness to unpack.
So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's dive into the deep rough of the golf world.
Let's do it.
All right, let's start with some indoor fireworks, shall we? The TGL, that tech-infused golf extravaganza, just wrapped up its first ever season, and wow, what a finish.
Yeah, a real nail-biter.
Atlanta Drive GC, they were trailing, like seriously trailing, but they pulled off an epic comeback to snatch the SoFi Cup from New York Golf Club.
It was a stunning turnaround, that's for sure.
I mean, they were down 3-0 through 11 holes in the final match of the best-of-3 series.
You're thinking it's over at that point.
Right. Game over, lights out. But then, boom, Atlanta, led by a fired-up Billy Horschel, they used all 3 of their hammers, those game changers, to win 4 straight points on holes 12 through 14.
The momentum just completely shifted.
It was electric.
Yeah.
And then, Horschel, he sinks this 17-foot birdie putt on the penultimate hole to seal the deal, a 4-3 victory, putter drop, hat toss, the whole celebration package. Unbelievable.
The TGL definitely delivered on the drama this season, and it wasn't just about the final match. The league actually made some tweaks to the rules throughout the season, like how the hammer could be used and adjustments to the tee box distances.
Yeah, they really seem to be listening to feedback and trying to fine-tune the format.
Which I think is really smart for a brand new league. You got to be willing to adapt and evolve.
Absolutely. And it's clearly generating buzz.
Oh, yeah. Tons of buzz.
There's already talk of expanding the league, maybe even as soon as 2026.
I heard rumors of a West Coast venue in the works. That would be pretty cool.
And, I even heard some chatter about potentially incorporating celebrities into the mix, or maybe even having a reliever player who can come in during matches.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I could see that adding another level of excitement.
Right. It's like they're taking all the best elements of sports and entertainment and fusing them together. And let's not forget the prize money. Atlanta Drive took home a cool $9 million for their victory.
Not too shabby.
New York GC, they pocketed $4.5 million, which is not bad for a runner-up finish.
The stakes are definitely high in the TGL.
So the TGL, definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
Now let's move from the virtual to the real to the Valspar Championship. And this one, folks, this one had a twist ending that nobody saw coming.
Oh, man, this was a roller coaster.
Viktor Hovland, he's a talented guy, no doubt, but he'd been struggling with his swing, admitted it himself. He's gone through, get this, 5 coaches since his FedEx Cup win back in 2023.
Yeah, he's been on a bit of a coaching carousel.
But somehow, some way, he found magic at Innisbrook Resort.
It's amazing how golf can be like that.
One week you're lost in the woods, the next week you're finding fairways and draining putts.
It's a game of confidence, for sure.
He was trailing by 3 shots with 5 holes to play, and then bam, he goes on a birdie blitz.
Just flipped a switch.
Birdies on 14 and 17, and then on the 16th, the toughest hole on the course, the infamous Copperhead Course's snake pit, he hits this incredible 7-iron to within 5 feet of the cup, another birdie.
Clutch shot. Under that kind of pressure, too.
Talk about a clutch performance. He closed with a 4-under 67 to win by 1 shot.
It was an incredible display of resilience and determination.
It's funny. Before the tournament, he was saying things like, my swing feels out of sorts. And, he wasn't exactly brimming with confidence.
Right, I remember him saying that.
But that's golf for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to grind it out, find a way, and that's exactly what he did.
And it paid off big time.
Huge time. Now, on the flip side of that coin, we have Justin Thomas.
Ah, yes, JT, the heartbreak kid this time around.
He had a 2-shot lead heading into the snake pit, those final 3 holes, 16, 17, 18. But the pressure got to him.
Yeah, the snake pit can be a real heartbreaker.
Bogeyed 16, bogeyed 18, both times missing his drives to the left. Tough break.
Those closing holes at Innisbrook, they can be brutal when you're trying to close out a tournament.
He was asked about it afterward, and he said he'd still hit driver on 16 again, even though it didn't work out for him this time. But he admitted that his execution on 18, that was what really cost him. Still, he maintained a pretty positive attitude about his game. He said he felt like he was on the right path, especially after fighting back from a rough first round.
Yeah, he shot a 40 on that first day.
Can you imagine? To come back from that and almost win, it shows a lot of grit. He even said he was looking forward to putting himself in a similar position at Augusta in a couple weeks.
Well, that's the mindset you want to see.
Absolutely. So a tough loss for Thomas, but a huge win for Hovland. It was his 7th PGA Tour title. And for all the gearheads out there, let me give you the rundown of Hovland's winning bag. He had a Ping G425 LST dryer, a TaylorMade Simtai 3-wood, Titleist U505, and Ping I210 irons, Ping's 159 and Glide 2.0 wedges, and he was putting with a Ping PLD DS72 prototype putter.
There you have it, the tools of the champion.
Now, while all this was going down, LIV Golf was teeing it up in Singapore.
Ah, yes, LIV Golf, always stirring the pot.
And guess who found themselves battling it out for the top spot? Dustin Johnson and Joaquin Niemann. Remember, these two have a bit of history.
Oh yeah, their playoff battle back when Niemann made his LIV debut was one for the books.
They were tied for the lead at 11 under after 2 rounds at Sentosa Golf Club.
Sentosa's a beauty too, great course.
Niemann, he fired a second-round best of 64. Johnson followed his opening round 63 with a solid 68. It was shaping up to be a classic showdown.
You could feel the tension building.
And it wasn't just individual glory on the line. Johnson's 4 aces GC, they were holding a 5-stroke lead in the team competition. They were hoping to break a 22-tournament winless streak.
That's a long drought.
Talk about pressure. And Sergio Garcia's Fireballs GC, they were right there in 3rd place, looking for their 3rd consecutive team victory. The team aspect really adds a different dimension to these LIV events.
No doubt about it. Brings a whole different level of strategy and camaraderie into play.
And speaking of high stakes, let's hop over to Macau real quick, where the International Series event presented by Wynn was handing out 3 spots in the Open Championship. Talk about pressure.
That's a golden ticket right there.
Carlos Ortiz emerged victorious, holding off Patrick Reed by 3 shots. Jason Kokrak snagged the 3rd spot.
All 3 of them punching their tickets to Royal Portrush.
And you know who just missed out? Sergio Garcia. He finished 1 shot back in 4th. He actually had a short birdie putt on the last hole that would have tied him with Kokrak. And with Garcia's higher world ranking, he likely would have taken that open spot.
Talk about a brutal way to end the tournament.
It's got a sting. But hey, that's golf.
That's the game. Sometimes it's glorious, sometimes it's heartbreaking.
Ortiz, his win was his 2nd on the International Series and the Asian Tour. It moved him to the top of the order of merit and the International Series rankings. And for Reed and Garcia, qualifying for the Open was clearly a major goal coming into the week.
And they both achieved it, so that's got to feel pretty good.
All right, let's swing over to the DP World Tour now, where the Indian Swing has been shaking up the Road to Mallorca rankings.
Yeah, some big moves happening over there.
Joshua Berry, an English golfer, he had a phenomenal couple of weeks in India.
Really impressive performance.
He won his first ever HotelPlanner Tour title at the Kolkata Challenge, and then followed that up with a solo 2nd-place finish in Delhi.
Back-to-back top finishes, that's a statement.
It launched him up to 2nd place in the rankings, right behind Daniel Van Tonder.
But the road to Mallorca is heating up.
Now, the only guy who managed to beat Berry in India was Spaniard Quim Vidal. He won the Delhi Challenge in dramatic fashion.
Yeah, and went right down to the wire.
He eagled the 72nd hole to force a playoff, and then went on to win.
What a finish.
That victory catapulted him 27 spots up the rankings to 5th place. It's always exciting to see new names emerging and shaking things up.
Shows the depth of talent out there on the DP World Tour.
And for all our UK golf fans, there's a new way to catch all the DP World Tour action.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
A brand new fast channel operated by C15 Studio just launched on Samsung TV Plus. They'll be providing live coverage of events like the Hero Indian Open. And of course, Sky Sports will continue their live broadcasts as well.
That's great news for UK golf fans. More options to watch the game they love.
And speaking of the Hero Indian Open, Richard Mansell will be teeing it up there as a DP World Tour champion for the very first time.
Yeah, he just won the Porsche Singapore Classic. Big moment for him.
He said winning was tiring, but in a good way. And he's already hungry for more. He even talked about how seeing his peers win motivated him to step up his game.
That's the kind of competitive spirit you need to succeed at the highest level.
The DLF Golf and Country Club, which is where the Hero Indian Open is being played, it's a tough but beautiful course, so it should be a great test for these guys.
It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Now let's circle back to the PGA Tour for a moment and get an update on Tiger Woods.
Everyone wants to know how Tiger's doing.
He recently underwent another surgery, this time on his Achilles. But the good news is, according to his friend Fred Couples, Tiger is in good spirits.
That's great to hear.
Couples said they've been texting, And Tiger was even really excited about his daughter's soccer team winning a state championship. So, despite the setback, he's finding joy in other areas of his life. There's no timetable yet for his return to golf, but it's encouraging to hear that he's staying positive.
We're all pulling for him.
Absolutely. Now, with the Masters just around the corner, the focus shifts to who's going to snag those last few spots in the field.
Augusta National, the holy grail of golf.
Winning the Texas Children's Houston Open or the Valero Texas Open, those are automatic bids. And then the top 50 in the official world golf ranking after the Houston Open, they're in. So there's a lot of guys on the bubble right now battling it out for those final spots.
Pressure's on.
Big time. Ricky Fowler, Jake Knapp, Siwoo Kim, Michael Kim, Ben Griffin, they're all within striking distance. But they need a strong showing in Houston.
It's going to be a wild finish to the season.
You can bet on that. All right, before we wrap up, let's touch on a topic that's near and dear to every golfer's heart: pace of play.
The never-ending battle against slow play.
The PGA TOUR Americas, they're trying something new for the 2025 season. They've implemented a revised policy where the first bad time a player gets for exceeding the allotted time to play a stroke, it's an automatic one-strike penalty.
Wow, they're getting serious about it.
You bet. It used to be a penalty on the second offense, but now it's immediate. A second bad time will result in a two-stroke penalty, and a third one, you're disqualified.
3 strikes and you're out.
It's a trial initiative, but it'll be interesting to see if it actually speeds things up. Yeah, and who knows, maybe we'll see it adopted by other tours in the future.
I think anything that helps address slow play is worth trying.
Agreed. Now, a quick update on the LPGA Tour. The 2025 Ford Championship is coming up soon, and the JM Eagle LA Championship in April is already attracting some big names. Nelly Korda, the world #1, and Hannah Green, the 2-time defending champion, have already committed to play.
The LPGA is always a thrill to watch.
The talent level is incredible.
Some of the best golfers in the world right there.
So there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of the golf landscape, from the virtual greens of the TGL to the dramatic finishes on the PGA Tour and LIV Golf, the road to Mallorca, and a glimpse at what's in store for the Masters. We've covered it all.
A lot to digest, but that's what makes golf so captivating.
Absolutely. Now, we want to hear from you, our awesome Golfunity listeners. What were your biggest takeaways from this episode? Were you as surprised as we were by Hovland's win at the Valspar? Who do you think has the best chance of grabbing one of those last spots in the Masters? Hit us up on social media and let us know.
We love hearing your thoughts and predictions.
And don't forget to subscribe to Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town, to make sure you never miss an episode. Ring that bell and join the conversation on our social media channels. Tell us what you loved, what you hated, what you want to hear more about. We're always listening.
We appreciate you joining us for this deep dive into the world of golf.
Hey, next time on Golfunity, for episode 8, we're going to be tackling the mental game. The pressure, the nerves, the psychological warfare that goes on inside a golfer's head. It's more intense than you might think.
Oh, yeah. The mental game is a huge part of golf.
Absolutely. Until then, keep it on the fairway, folks.